The second gate hung in a dusk of dust and slow light. It was larger than the first, its surface stitched with ridges that resembled tide marks. Between the gates, the hush quickened and then gentled, like a breath carefully taken. The grav lanterns learned their work, gathering stray eddies, letting the corridor settle. At the first lantern, they found a gift, a folded construct of glass ceramic left by the Imuli. Within it, a pattern pulsed, a formula for making lanterns stronger without making them louder. Micah grinned the way old engineers do when someone else has anticipated their next worry. "We'll call this one Lantern 2, he said. "Let it learn the rhythm of Lantern 1. By Lantern 3, they had company. A Kython scout ship appeared, sleek, beaded with antennae like whiskers. The Kython loved speed the way children love downhill. Their pilot hailed them with cheerful bravado that made Hallion's walls hum. "We could tow you," the Kython offered. "Make this corridor remember a race." Rowan laughed softly. "Friend, this is not a track. It's a chapel. Leave your shoes at the door." The Kython tried anyway. The hush did not rage. It simply removed the Kython's acceleration as if taking a toy from a child's hands. The scout drifted, chastened. "It felt small," the pilot confessed. "Same," Noor said. "It's not a punishment. It's a scale." By Lantern 5, the Mermarch returned, unfolding like fog at dawn. They traveled badly alone, but the lantern chain widened the path. The cloud split into two tendrils and moved in parallel, close enough to touch, far enough not to wake the hush's defenses. "We taste room," the Mermarch said, pleased, "room that teaches." Not every neighbor accepted the lesson. 3 Thorn of Day cruisers, angular, proud, their hulls engraved with victories, edged into the corridor and demanded tribute. "If you control this path, you pay our tax. If you do not control it, we will." Noor did not argue about control. She invited the Thorn commander to match pace with Hallion beside Lantern 6, where the hush was most instructive. "Take what you think is owed," Noor said gently, "but take it without waking anything." The Thorn tried to block, to bully, to claim. Each push thickened the quiet until the cruiser's own systems began to choose safety over pride. Engines damped, weapons unprimed. The hush held them, not like a jailer, but like an Oldley stopping a child from running into the road. "Do you see?" Saya asked. "This path does not like loud ownership. It likes careful belonging." The Thorn commander said nothing for a long time. Then he yielded the corridor with a bow that was almost a stretch. "Travel with your lanterns," he said. "Our honor prefers battlefields that listen differently." Along the way, Hallion found signs of those who had come before and failed to make a harbor. Melted anchors, angry graffiti in 3 scripts, a song coil that played a fragment of lament and then shyly powered down. Saya catalogued without judgment. "People try what they know. Sometimes, when the path doesn't move, we learn other ways to walk." Between Lantern 7 and 8, the hush trembled, not with anger, but with attention. Patterns formed and unformed in the dust, like glyphs practicing themselves. Rowan reduced thrust until Hallion rode inertia alone. The trembling resolved into an echo of their own lantern pulses, shifted by a fraction, as if someone were humming along, slightly off-key. Micah whispered, "It's learning us." "Or it's reminding itself," Nor said. At lantern 9, the Imuli elder Ash returned with a gift of their own, a spool of memory wire that could hold a curve remembered from a touch. The hush gathers profiles, Ash said. If you arrive with hardened edges, it invites you to soften. This wire will help your lanterns remember softness, even when startled. They accepted, and Hallian's corridor grew wider still, not by meters, but by mercy. 2 Tailil freighters slipped in behind them, plants in glass that needed a road gentle on roots. The Mermarch kept station above, shading the freighters from stray radiation with their cool bodies. The Kythan scout floated like a kite tethered to patience. "That's 3 species keeping one promise," Saya murmured. "Maybe that's all a harbor is." They placed Lantern 10 at a cusp where the hush's tide changed. The gate ahead was different, faceted, darker, its ornament broken in places where some old event had taught it caution. Hallian slowed almost to stillness. Noor placed her hand on the console again. "We are not the first to ask," she said. "We might be the first to learn your way before we ask louder." The gate answered with a sensation like a nod. The corridor damped, then released. Somewhere beyond, machinery the size of continents altered an equation and looked for who would notice. The measured pilgrimage had carried them to the Leviathan's hearing.